Hi everyone, this is Eastern Bloc and I'm here with Victor from Tango Down Liberty. Today we're talking about the horrible tragedy that happened in Orlando earlier this morning. 2 o'clock in the morning, a man by the name of Omar Mateen entered a nightclub called the Pulse Nightclub in downtown Orlando, and it looks like at this point he shot over 100 people. 50 people are dead at this point and over 50 people are wounded. And from what we're reading, the reports are pretty new right now because it just happened earlier this morning, but looks like he went in there with a semi-automatic rifle and a handgun, and they're also saying that he may have had some kind of explosive strapped to him. That detail is a little bit unclear. But from what we know, nobody at the nightclub, including the bouncers or any of the staff or any of the patrons, were armed. Only the attacker was armed. And it wasn't until the police showed up that they finally put an end to his attack by killing him. What do you think, Victor, led to so many people dying in this incident?
Well, I think you just said it. I mean, you didn't really have any bullets going the opposite direction. Nobody there was armed. When you look at Florida statute, Title 46, Chapter 790, Section 12A, you're not even allowed to carry a weapon into an establishment that serves alcohol. So we know for a fact there was no legal guns there. You're not even allowed to carry a gun in there. So that's the number one reason why he was so effective. And he was very effective. I think they said this may be the worst shooting in American history. I mean, 50 people dead is incredible. I don't know how he killed that many people. I don't know if he was on a balcony or what, but you would figure somebody would try to stop him, attack him or something. But it's just, it's a shame because no matter who you are, no matter what your political ideology, your sexual orientation, whether you're Republican, Democrat, man, woman, child, everybody has the right to self-defense. It's a natural right. And obviously these people here, it just happened to be a gay nightclub. We saw in Paris that wasn't a gay nightclub. It's not, it's not necessarily any one group. We all have the right to self-defense. And you just can't help but wonder if, you had a few people there, 2, 3, 4 people there with concealed carry permits. Gay people tend to be more liberal, but here in New Hampshire, there's a lot of people in the gay community, the LGBT community, that do carry firearms, and I wouldn't want anybody to be in that situation. But I guarantee if one of them were in there, I think this would be definitely a different situation. So, and there's other things involved with this too, like the Islamic terrorism and stuff like that, and we don't know enough just yet to know for sure what this guy's actual intent was. Obviously, right off the bat, you're going to think that he's anti-gay. And let's just be real about it. You look at his name, Omar Mateen. His family came from Afghanistan. He was born here. So you got to think that at least maybe Islam had something to do with this. And there's also reports that he did call 911 around the time of the attack to pledge allegiance to ISIS. And I think the article said he also referenced the Boston bombers as well. So there's at least an inkling of Islamic terrorism in this. So you got to wonder what his real motive was.
Yeah, I mean, this is really reminiscent of the San Bernardino shootings that happened earlier this year, where some Islamic extremists opened fire on a holiday party and killed so many people, and nobody in that party was armed either. Only the attackers were armed, and it wasn't until the police came that actually, I think in that case, the attackers fled the scene, and they were shot later by the police. But it's really a tragedy that it's hard to tell whether it would be averted if somebody was armed, but at least you would have somebody there with some kind of equal firepower to be able to stop this. In this case, nobody was armed from what we're able to see, and so the best you can do is maybe rush the guy while he's shooting at you, and not a lot of people are willing to do that. Most people are running away from the gunfire, and all you can really count on is the police. And usually the police is not right around the corner, so you might be waiting 5-10 minutes for a police officer to show up. And when you have an active shooting situation like this, that's a lot of time that passes before an officer with a gun shows up, if they show up at all, or if they're even able to stop the shooter. I mean, what tells you? How can you tell whether a police officer would have even helped? He might have shown up and gotten shot himself. So, as they say, the best way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun, right? So if some more people were armed there, they might have been able to put this shooting to a stop sooner.
In that statement, that's just a fact. I mean, people could talk about, a police officer is a good guy with a gun. So even if you don't like guns, you're going to call somebody with a gun to come help you. So that's still a good guy with a gun. And a lot of times, we've seen a lot of times where police don't actually go in; they wait for backup. There's been plenty of times. I think the famous shootout in L.A. The cops had a chance to stop it early, but they waited for backup. A lot of times they wait for backup. That's protocol, I think. I'm not a police officer, but all you cops out there, I don't know about you, but you hear gunshots and you're going to wait for backup. I don't think that's the right thing to do. I think you need to put yourself out there. They're not going to be expecting people armed to be shooting back at them, so you have the element of surprise at that point, I think. So, another thing we want to talk about is, every time one of these shootings happen, people get all crazy about gun control and, how they need to ban guns or whatever. They're talking about background checks. I don't think this guy has a record or anything. I don't think a background check would have stopped him. But, you just look through some of these tweets. Felicia Day, LGBT citizens need to get one of those constitutional amendments to protect them. Seems to be working out really well for the guns.
Yeah, there's a lot of hating on Twitter right now, and I'm sure over the next coming days and weeks, we're going to hear a lot of pushes for gun control like we usually do when one of these incidents occur.
Yeah. But hashtag gun control now. Save a human, lose your gun. To members of U.S. government, your tweets of condolences mean nothing without action. Gun control now.
Yeah, and I don't think any law-abiding gun owner is looking at the news that happened today and is actually happy about it. I mean, the vast majority of gun owners are legal gun owners. They're lawful citizens, and they use their guns for home defense, to protect their family, for sporting purposes, for hunting, for legal purposes. It's the very small minority that is able to get the guns and do bad things with them. And the problem is, even if you shut down every single gun store in the country right now, you're not going to get rid of this problem. People are going to get guns one way or the other. Even if you go out around and confiscate or try to confiscate every single gun from everyone's home, the knowledge is already out there. People are going to go out and build their own guns. They're going to sneak them across the border, and it's usually going to be the criminals that do that, right? Law-abiding citizens, they don't want to break the law. They're law-abiding, right? So they're not going to try to get guns if you disarm them. But criminals are always going to want to get some kind of weapon. And if they're not able to buy it from somewhere, they're going to steal it. They're going to get it some other way. So the only way, like I said, the only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. So get armed, get training, and protect yourself and your family. And let's decrease the number of these gun-free zones, because a gun-free zone is a perfect place for somebody that has malicious intent to go and kill the maximum amount of people, as you can see that happen here. Like we said, if somebody was armed in the crowd, even if it was not the patron, but maybe the bodyguards, or rather the bouncers, or maybe the staff, maybe the bartender, maybe somebody in that establishment, if they were carrying a gun, this might have been a lot different than it actually was.
It would have been a lot different, and you guys got to protect. We got to protect ourselves. I mean, you don't see shootings at NRA shows or at gun shows. Nobody goes in there shooting up the place, because people that do things like this are cowards. They want easy targets, and they know a club full of people that are drunk, having a good time, that aren't allowed to bring guns in there. That's easy. That's an easy target. That's a soft target. Make yourself a hard target. Now I want to get back to these tweets. If it was a shooting that killed 50 people, tell me again how guns don't kill people. I mean, you can look at a gun right here. It's not killing anybody. It doesn't have legs. It's not going to get up and go walk and kill somebody. Okay, it's that you can't blame an inanimate object. There's call to ban Muslims. There's call to ban Mexicans. Can we finally sound the call to ban assault rifles? I mean, as far as I know, his weapon wasn't fully automatic. No, but there's also other interesting tweets. As a gay man, I understand Islam is not my friend. I'll never tolerate something that wants me dead. Grab your guns, gays. Obama will not tell the truth about Islam. We must. Muslims hate gays. If the shooter was a white male, the empty suit would be talking about racism and bigotry. But Islam, the gun did it. That's a pretty good point. So there's tweets on both sides of the aisle, but I think the overwhelming majority of mainstream people on social media, at least, are talking about gun control. And we actually have firsthand experience about that because you actually just bought this today.
Yeah, we actually went to the gun store, not because of this event, but because we were going to go to the gun store anyways today. I bought this rifle here, which we're going to do a review on in the coming days. Actually, I bought this...
Coming weeks, we got to shoot it. And,
yeah, coming weeks. And I bought this Ruger LC9S that we're going to review as well. So while we were there was just tons of people. Everyone's panic buying these magazines. We were going to buy these magazines yesterday. They were $6.99 yesterday, and this morning when we checked on them, they're sold out. They're out of stock.
Last night, it was probably 10:30 at night. I had 54 of these things in the cart, and I was ready to go, and we were going to split it, start stocking up, get ready for Hillary. And I was like, well, let's wait on this. Let's see what they got at the gun store, see what stock they have there, what the prices are like. So we went there. Obviously, they're a little more expensive at a brick and mortar. So we come back to order it, and they're out of stock. They're not even in stock. And the ones that are in stock have gone up in price already. There's some that were in stock last night for $7.99, and now they're $11.99, $12.99 in one day. And overnight, the prices have gone up. So I don't, I'm afraid to look and see what the price for AR-15s are online or lower receivers. So there's an immediate impact when you have a shooting like this.
Yeah, so with that, again, we like to send our condolences to all the victims of this tragedy, and we really hope it never happens again. But unfortunately, as history has shown, these things do happen, and no matter what you do with gun control, they're going to continue to happen. So the best we can do is, again, get a gun, train on how to use it, protect yourself, protect your family, and be the good guy in this situation. And the more of us that are armed out there with training, the less of a target you become, and the less likely somebody is to cause harm to you or your family if they know that there's possibly, a repercussion to it, that they might die before they're able to cause you harm. So again, I know it sounds counterintuitive to, especially to liberals out there, but really the best way you can protect yourself and your family is to arm yourself, and don't make yourself a soft target.
Yeah, check out the gun crimes and the violent crime statistics in places like New Hampshire and Vermont, and then look at their gun laws, and you tell me if guns equal crime. Doesn't necessarily always equal the opposite. Guns don't always equal less crime, but they don't equal more crime. I'll tell you that. And there's too many guns in America. You can't ban guns or ban a certain type of gun and they all magically disappear. That's just not how it works. So, thanks for watching. If you like what you see, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Stay tuned for more videos.
And don't forget to check out our website, tangodownliberty.com, where you can find the latest news and reviews on guns, equipment, survival, politics, and liberty topics. This is Eastern Bloc and Victor, signing off.